I think when I think of writing these books, it's not, I don't think of children specifically, I think of keeping it very simple. So it's not so much that you are thinking, well, children will understand this better, or if I do this, children won't understand it. It's more about keeping things very clear, and then just generally hoping the children like it. I don't know if, this is just how I like to write. It's not that this is me writing children's books or anything. This is my favorite way to tell a story, and so in that way there isn't much separation. Of course there is with maybe some subject matter or something, but it's nothing I miss. I don't find myself avoiding anything with the books. This is just my favorite way to tell a story. So in that way I don't think that there is a change of gears. Yeah. I think when I think of what I like in a story or what I need from a story when I read one, it's often the same thing that I think that kids might need. If you read about children's psychology or what children are looking for in books or something like that, I read somewhere that they like stability. They like the promise of stability. At the end of a fairy tale, the magic sort of goes away, and they have a stable, happily ever after. It's not a life filled with unpredictability or surprises. They have a stable life, and that's what they want out of a story, is the promise of, not the promise, but the suggestion that you can have a stable life. And when you read that about children, you're like, but that's what I want now. I'm an adult, and that's what adults want as well. They want stability. And so I think that they might want that, or they might just want entertainment. They think that a story should feel fun to move through. I don't know about morals or lessons or teaching things. I don't like to do that in the books, or at least I don't start with that. But as long as the story moves well, as long as it's very interesting, I think the rest can be left up to the audience. I think one of the books I recommended was Duck, Death and the Tulip, or Death, Duck and the Tulip. I forget which order it goes in, by Wolf Elbrook. And it's this beautiful book about the angel of death coming for a duck and like laying him down in the river and sending him off. And it's this beautiful, gentle story. I admire it very much. Yeah. I think a good picture book, a children's book with pictures, needs the pictures to have their own job apart from the text. I get very bored if I have a job illustrating a book and there's nothing for me to do, there's no new information for me to convey than the text already has. If it's just decorations, then I just feel useless. But I think that's more than that. The audience appreciates when there's more information in the pictures, and so it has to have both things. You want to use all the ingredients that you've been given to make the book to tell the story, and so as long as it has that, I'm usually okay with it. It's hard to say how it influences your behavior. I think that you remember books. I remember books with a lot of atmosphere, even very simple ones. I go back to them, and they could be very simple, but I remember a lot of atmosphere and mood that isn't necessarily there, but as a child you put it on there. You're very sensitive to colors or how things might feel or smell or what the temperature might be inside the book. And you remember all those things very vividly. And I think that's, whenever I remember books from when I was younger, I don't remember the stories so much, but I remember those things, how the book felt, to just sit inside of the book and that sort of world it makes. And so I think that's what you carry through, is sort of an appreciation of mood. And you develop that sense, I think. It's important for that as much as anything else.